If you're looking for the cheapest and most reliable Madden 22 coins on the market, check out my sponsor, MMOEXPR.com. Links are in the description, and use code JEDI at checkout for 5% off. Alrighty, hey there guys, Adrian Casa here, aka JediRow95, coming at you guys with another video, and it is that time again, gentlemen, where we go through and rank all of the theme teams based on the tier maker, between S, A, B, D, and C, C, D, and C and D. Holy hell, I do not know my alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Okay, you get it, Adrian. Anyways, so we're going to be ranking these guys, these teams based on their tier rankings. Obviously, you know, best being the best, worst being the worst. Lots of change, you know, with the playoff promo, Super Bowl, you know, other new Wild Card Wednesday cards coming out, this, that, and everything. So lots of change. So first off, let's start off with the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Well, them Cowboys actually still have a solid theme team, even though some of their positions have been neglected over the last little while. Look at this chart here for the Cowboys. Obviously, their offensive line has actually been a little outdated. Tyron Smith has not gotten an upgrade all season. Tyler, I do not know how to pronounce his name. Badaz? Sure, I don't know. You know, he hasn't gotten an upgrade. I mean, they did get Leonard Davis, to be fair, and they also got a Larry Allen card, to be fair, but these guys are still pretty, you know, these two are still pretty bad. Tight end, though, these guys are pretty set. You know, Mike Ditka and Blake Jarwin both can be solid tight ends. Blake Jarwin is 94 speed on the Cowboys theme team, and then Mike Ditka is 96. So you could actually run a lot of two tight end sets. Deion Sanders, I still think, Deion Sanders is still incredibly good on this team with 98 speed. Lance Allworth is a sneaky underrated card, 99 speed on the Cowboys theme team, and plus he's probably due for another upgrade here soon. So we're probably going to be getting another team captain card soon. So I mean, Lance Allworth is still pretty good, but even then, Randall Cobb will do just fine, being a slot receiver, 99 speed on a Cowboys theme team. So you probably could start him. If not, definitely Michael Irvin. You know, the Cowboys are set at receiver. Quarterback, Tony Romo or Randall Cunningham. Hopefully they get a Dak Prescott card soon. I think he's due for an upgrade. They get a Dak card soon. Maybe they get what's his name? Troy Aikman UL card at some point. I would like to see Troy Aikman. But offensively, the Cowboys are not that bad. Defensively, though, this is where the team gets a little bit better. You know, they still need a free safety with Jordan Whitehead, but they have two of the best edge rushers in the game in Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Ware. The only downside is that Micah Parsons is a run stopper. He is not a pass rushing archetype. He is a run stopper and linebacker. But cornerbacks, Deion Sanders, Byron Jones, there we go, and Aaron Glenn. Deion Jones is a Falcon, so let's not argue that. Let's not worry about that. Randy Gregory, still one of the better pass rushers, 95 speed off the edge with 97 finesse and 94 power move. You know, definitely could have him be, you know, your rush DT if you really wanna. Especially with, you know, with 18 AP, you probably could afford the 2 AP inside stuff on Randy Gregory. Jay Ratliff, I still think, is solid. He's not the best, but he's solid. DeMarcus Lawrence, he got an upgrade. It's not as good as it could be. Aaron Glenn is 5'9". You know, play him at the slot corner, he'll be fine. But the Cowboys, I think they're an A tier. Obviously, their offensive line has definitely, you know, their O-line has definitely, if you want to count special teams too, they actually have very solid special teams with Nick Folk and Brian Anger as, you know, their special teams. But I think if they get and one more offensive line piece, like a center, for example, they say they get a center or a left tackle. If they get a left tackle off for Tyron Smith, I think they could actually be an S tier. Kansas City Chiefs. So the Kansas City Chiefs theme team, I was watching Juju make a video on this, and I figured, you know what, let's rank them, because he was actually on the Kansas City Chiefs theme team, and I thought to myself, hey, let's look at this team. So Kansas City, wow, Kansas City's O-line is actually pretty stacked. You know, it's much better than the Cowboys. You know, Orlando Brown Jr., Rodney Hudson, Roger Saffold, you know, he gets all AFC team cam, so take that with a grain of salt. But you also got Kyle Long here. Obviously, you definitely can replace him with somebody like Mitch Morse, for example. I don't know if Mitch Morse has a right tackle secondary position, but you can obviously replace him with Mitch Morse, or you could put Derek Fisher there if you want. I don't necessarily know. Does Derek Fisher get right tackle? Orlando Brown, Derek, Mike, right guard, I mean, right guard, Roger Saffold, right tackle. I don't think any of those guys get a right guard, but either way, you can still just throw them there if you really wanna. and just work with that. So anyways, back to the lineup builder here for the Chiefs. So, you move the Chiefs team, the offensive line around. Travis Kelce is one of the better tight ends in the entire game. Receivers, Mecole Hardman is really, really good, 5'10", but he's 99 speed. Josh Gordon is a beast. I can attest to this from personal usage. Josh Gordon is amazing. And then Joe Horn, obviously all 99 speed receivers. Marcus Allen is one of the better running backs, if not probably I think he's a top 5 running back in the entire game. He's definitely the best receiving back in the entire game, being 98 speed on a Chiefs team with 88 catching and 98 trucking and break tackling. Plus he gets backfield master for 1 AP. Joe Montana is a good card. Hopefully they get a Patrick Mahomes soon. That would also be ideal. The Chiefs defense, though, the Chiefs got a great defensive unit here. Nick Bolton is the level 50 end cat for the season 3, so obviously he's going to have a great card. Damian Wilson is also really good, being a 96 overall. D4 definitely does need an upgrade. Terrell Suggs is also pretty solid. Cornerbacks, Mike Hughes, Ty Law, and Darrell Rivas all can be 99 speed corners on the team. Melvin Ingram is okay, 92 speed off the edge with 98 finesse move. Emmanuel Ogbah does need another card. Derek Jones, Chris Jones, Derek and a 90. So their defensive tackles are not really great. Obviously, they also do have Derek Thomas, who's also one of the better cards in the game. So you definitely can put these two at your pass rushing linebackers, your edge, and then put Melvin Ingram at your D tackle or something. Your rush DT with Chris Jones. You can definitely do it that way. Maybe you'll put Derek Thomas, then Melvin Ingram there, and put Frank Clark, Chris Jones at DT or something. I don't know. That's completely up to you. Juan Thornhill, 99 speed on a Chiefs team. That's solid. Ty Matthews, same thing, even though he's 5'9". But the Chiefs have some good stuff about them. I think they're one of the more underrated teams in the entire game. So I'm going to put the Chiefs in the A tier as well. I personally am not a fan of their right guard for obvious reasons, but offensive linemen are very expendable in this game. But the other problem I have is they don't really have a good second defensive tackle. They don't have a run-stopping DT, and I value run-stopping DTs pretty highly, especially in this game. So it does hurt their rankings a little bit, not much, but it does hurt them a little bit. Next, we have my Seahawks. So the Seahawks team has gotten a couple of new things. So obviously, we'll look at their depth chart. We'll look for my Seahawks. Wait for this to load. There we go. So offensive line, got some great players in the O-line. Walter Jones, Damian Lewis. I actually start Jermaine Ifedi. I would rather start Jermaine Ifedi over O'Day. And then I actually put the Justin Britt center. I actually put him here. So you can enable the right tackle secondary position cam. He's a 94 there. But offensive line is really, really good. Backs and receivers, some of the best receivers in the entire game. Percy Harvin is really good. Devin Hester. I'm not a fan of Devin Hester anymore because of his size. That's why I would rather play Josh Gordon. Jerry Rice is also really good. And I actually do have Golden Tate. He's not in the depth chart because he actually is in the top 5 receivers. But I do play Golden Tate because of the slot apprentice being 1 AP. Backs, team captain Sean Alexander, but he's also a team diamond. Then you have Adrian Peterson, who I actually start. And then Marshawn Lynch, and then obviously one of the better quarterbacks. One of the top 5 quarterbacks in the game, Russell Wilson, and a Franco Harris, is really, really good. Defensively, though, is where the team really does shine. Obviously, they don't have a good second middle line. We don't have a second middle linebacker. But defensive backs are some of the best in the entire game. Sean Springs is one of the better cornerbacks in the game. Richard Sherman, I still think, is a top 5 corner in the game because of his size and his speed, being a 98 speed on a Hawks team. I think he is a top 5 corner in the game. DJ Reed, he is a little vertically challenged, being 5'9", but 99 speed. Play him in the slot, he's fine. Akello Witherspoon has actually been surprising for me. I actually do think Akello is a good cornerback. So I would not have no problem using him. But even then, DK Metcalf corner is a solid fallback option. Freeney and Clowney are great pass rushers. Obviously, Jonathan Bullard. Now, I'm not a fan of this Jonathan Bullard because of the finesse move. But, if he is playing good for you, obviously, it is what it is. Kevin Williams and Sheldon Richardson. Obviously, unfortunately, none of these are power rushed or run stoppers. So, unfortunately, they do suffer in that department a little bit. Jamal Adams is pretty bad now because of the fact that he has 97 speed on a safety. Actually, that's not bad, but it could be better. And then Cam Chancellor, obviously he goes on every team, but for the sake of this video, he does go on the Seahawks team because he was a Seahawk, so it is what it is with that. Special teams, obviously they have the best punter in the game, but we don't have the greatest of kickers. Our kicker is still pretty bad. But offensively, this offense is one of the more complete offenses in the entire game, especially on the offensive line, one of the better offensive lines. Defensively, they are missing a second middle linebackers, but I'm still putting the Hawks in the S tier. Call me biased all you want, but I do think that with the cornerbacks, the receivers, I think with the cornerbacks, the receivers, and the offensive line, I think the Seahawks offense is more than enough, in my personal opinion, to put them in the top half of the S tier. Obviously, they do need a better middle linebacker. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna put them down in A tier. I think if once we get a second middle linebacker or a Bosworth upgrade, it will be much easier. Next, we go to my boy Mike's Baltimore Ravens theme team. Now, the Ravens, where are they? Holy balls, I cannot see shit. Ravens. They're probably staring. They're probably staring me in the face, and I can't fucking see them. Holy shit. Okay. But the Ravens theme team, how are the Ravens theme team? Well, the Ravens actually do not have do not have the best of theme teams. They still have a good theme team, don't get me wrong. Their offensive line, Alejandro Villanueva, Kevin Zeitler, hopefully they get a Jonathan Ogden soon. But Kyle Juszczyk is still pretty good. Tyrod Taylor's the best quarterback that they have other than Randall Cunningham, which, gross. When you really stop to think about it, Tyrod Taylor is the best quarterback they have right now. Hopefully Lamar gets a card in the upcoming promo. I don't know if he will or not. This video is being made before then. But Marquise Brown is still serviceable receiver. 99 speed on a theme team. Hester and Sanders. Obviously, Hester is a season 1 champion, but he did play for the Ravens. And then obviously so did Deion Sanders. Mark Andrews. Now, Mark Andrews has a contention for being the best tight end in the entire game, and I will actually agree with that. Mark Andrews is incredibly good. 96 speed, 93 run block, 95 short, 94 mid. Route running, obviously all great. Just their offensive line is not the best. But defensively, this team is cracked. Great linebackers with Matthew Judon, Ray Lewis, CJ Mosley, and Terrell Suggs. Defensively, they got guys like Eric Weddle, who is definitely on the lower half of the speed section, but still good. Ed Reed, 99 speed on a Ravens team. Marlon Humphrey is really good. Darius Williams, Deion Sanders. Defense. They also have a solid front four with a solid defensive line with Campbell, Brandon Naldi, and Derek Wolfe. They also just got, with linebackers, they just got Ray Lewis. They also have Elvis Dummerville. Is it Elvis Dummer or Doomer? I want to say it's Dummer, but that makes me sound like an ass, so I'm not going to go that far. But they definitely need some upgrades on the defensive front, like their front four. But their linebackers are some of the best in the entire game. I actually do have a good soft spot for the CJ Mosley. I actually do think he is a very good card. But the Ravens, I'm going to put them in the B tier because of their defensive line and their defensive line and their offensive line. They're still obviously not the best. Special teams, they have the best kicker in the entire game, so there is that. But they definitely need a little bit more on the defensive front, and then they definitely need more on the offensive front. So I'm going to put them in B, high B. If you want to say they're A tier, I'm not even going to argue. All right, moving on. Let's look at the Minnesota Vikings theme team. Where the hell? There they are. Okay, so the Vikings theme team moving into the lineup builder. This is how I want to do these theme team rankings, is in the lineup builder, so you guys can look at the depth chart for them. So offensive line, Gary Zimmerman. Solid O-line. Obviously, they do need some upgrades. Wyatt Davis is a little outdated now. Riley Reef, giggity, is all right. Kyle Rudolph, I don't know. He's okay. 91 speed, tight end, but he's definitely outdated. He does need an upgrade. Tyler Conklin is straight up terrible. Then receivers, though, they have some of the best receivers in the entire game. They have some of the fastest receivers in the game. Stephon Diggs is a great card, 99 speed route runner with great route running ability, 96 short, 97 mid, 98 deep. Percy Harvin, again, tested this from personal experience. He's really, really good. Then Justin Jefferson, 99 speed on any team if you have the strat items. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is incredibly good. You know, you could also even start guys like Ahmad Rashad. I know Throne, his Vikings team is starting Ahmad Rashad over Percy Harvin because of his size. Because I think Ahmad Rashad, yeah, he's 6'2". So, but you know, the receiver wise, they're really great. Backs though, they have great running backs. Cordero Patterson is in contention for the best running back in the entire game. Then you have Dalvin Cook, who I am actually considering putting in the lineup for my team and using him because I actually want to see how good this Dalvin Cook really is. I've heard some people tell me that he is pretty good. But Dalvin Cook, you know, one of the better backs in the game, even just by looking at the stats. And then Adrian Peterson, you know, just, again, a test from personal experience. Adrian Peterson is really, really great. So, like, offensively, this team is great. Obviously, Randall Cunningham is not the best quarterback anymore, but he's still a serviceable quarterback to where you can get the job done, right? But moving on to the defense, this is where the Vikings defense kind of falters a little bit. Linebackers are not the best. Obviously, they didn't upgrade with Broderick Thomas. Free safety, they still don't have a free safety upgrade. Their best safety is Anthony Harris, which is terrible. But you know, Harrison Smith is really, really good. I love this Harrison Smith guard. Pat Pete, Trey Waynes, and Mike Hughes make up some of the best corners in the whole game. In the case of, you know, Mike Hughes, you know, you could also, you know, he's really good. You could also use Cordero Patterson if you want. Perry Nickerson is also pretty solid, being a 91 overall, but 98 speed. Mid coverage stats, but Perry is still pretty sweet. Defensive line, you know, it is what it is. You know, right, and obviously they're using Adama Suh, which I don't necessarily understand why they have Adama Suh on a Vikings team. He never played for the Vikings. But the Vikings have some good pieces to work with. They also have a great kicker. But the Vikings team has some great pieces to work with. Obviously, Harrison Smith is one of the best cards in the safety position. But the Vikings I'm putting in B tier as well. They're really dragged down by their defense, mainly in their free safety spot. Their free safety is pretty bad, and some of their O-line is a little outdated, but overall, I do think that they have a little bit of work to go before they're, like, mainly a free safety upgrade, and they can jump into A tier, no problem, personally. Now let's look at my boy Prax, New England Patriots team. Now, New England Patriots, holy balls, these guys have just been getting upgrade after upgrade, but they still haven't gotten Wes Welker yet, which, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't understand how they don't have Wes Welker yet. That really confuses me. You know, he's in the game. Why I don't know why he's... But anyways, offensive line, though, like, definitely could use a Shaq Mason and an Isaiah Wynn card, but David Andrews, John Hanna, and Trent Brown are great. Gronk is a big, beefy, fat fuck who can just plow through people. You know, 6'6", 260. I love him. He's great. He's big. You know, Chad Johnson's one of the best receivers in the game. I completely forgot he played for the Patriots one day, so I actually got into a small little altercation where I thought he wasn't going to get Patriots chem. So I completely forgot he was a Patriot at one point. Josh Gordon, I know he was a Patriot though, but Josh Gordon is really good. Brandon Cooks is also still pretty good. 99 speed on a deep threat wide receiver. You know, he's really great. Cordero Patterson, Fred Taylor, Chris Martin make up 3 great running backs. And then the GOAT himself, Tom Brady, career tribute. Obviously 99 overall. Obviously we'll get Gunslinger and Hot Rod Master for a discounted price. So, you know, you have 6 AP to work with the GOAT himself. So, but they also have Cam Newton, which a lot of people are loving this Cam Newton card, rightfully so. He is a big body at 6'5", 245, 95 speed on a Pat's team, and he can, you know, truck a bitch. Like, he's not that big of a liability when it comes to running the ball with him. And then Jakob Johnson is one of the better fullbacks. Nate Solter is also a good tackle, so you could actually put him at left tackle if you want. I think he does actually get left tackle secondary position. So I'm actually missed out on doing this because I actually wanted to do a Patriots team this year. But defensively, though, this team is actually not as bad as I personally thought. You know, Logan Ryan is actually not bad. Junior Seau, obviously, he goes on any team if you have the Season 1 champion card, which I do. So, you know, Junior Seau is pretty good, you know, but he does go on the Patriots. Richard Seymour is also really good. Vince Wilfork, I love this Vince Wilfork card. I don't have him anymore because, you know, I can't afford to keep him. I couldn't afford to keep him on the squad, but, you know, when I did have him, Vince Wilfork was making plays in the run game. Akeem Hicks is also really, really good as a run-stopping defensive tackle. Cornerbacks, though, you know, Aqib Talib, 99 speed corner. Ty Law, 99 speed corner. Sean Springs, 99 speed. Darrell Revis. Like, you can't go wrong with the cornerbacks you pick. Even Delta O'Neal is also a good corner. Like, you cannot go wrong with the cornerbacks you pick for the Patriots team. Like, this team is, Rodney Harrison, though, absolutely sucks. Like, 92 speed on this team. Well, 94 speed on this team. So he can be 96 speed at absolute best, which is absolutely atrocious. Even now, but special teams, they also get Nick Folk. But the Patriots, I'm putting in the I'm going to put them in the S tier, along with the Seahawks, actually. I'm going to put the Seahawks in S tier, because quite honestly, I think the Seahawks are an S tier theme team, even comparing them to the Patriots. Like, this team is one of the most complete teams in the entire game. Like, there really isn't a hole in this roster you can point at. Like, juniors, like Ronnie Harrison, you could just play him at sub linebacker. But then again, you need another safety. But that's where you have Cam Chancellor, right? And, Cam Chancellor goes on every team, so that does suck. But, he does add that there. But, receivers, backs, all fantastic. Gronk is one of the better tight ends. And then, of course, the best quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. So it is what it is. Cleveland. Oh, dear fuck. Let's look at the Browns. Jesus unicycling Christ. Alrighty. Let's look at the Browns. Yay! So the Cleveland Browns. Okay, in all seriousness though, the Cleveland Browns actually have not a bad team. Their offensive line does need a little bit of help here, but overall it's pretty good. David Njoku from the Gridiron Forge actually is pretty good. He's actually a pretty good guard for a free guard. 97 speed on the Browns team. Odell Beckham Jr. is really, really good. Josh Gordon is really, really good. They don't have a third receiver, though, with Emmanuel Sanders being the next best one they got. Willis McGahee has definitely been an outdated running back. Baker Mayfield, I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. The problem with Baker is the windup for his deep pass takes way too fucking long to get off. My goodness, is it ridiculous how long it takes that card to get the goddamn ball off. Jesus Christ. But Baker's not the worst option by any means. Baker's, he's serviceable. He plays better than his real life card, in my personal opinion. Then for defense, obviously, again, Jordan Whitehead here. Don't understand why they have that. But defensively, Jabril Pepper is not bad. Could be better. Definitely outdated, though. Clowney is pretty solid. He plays better than his stats, in my personal opinion. Cornerbacks, Everson, Walls, Denzel. Denzel Ward is really good. Denzel Ward is one of the better corners in the game. I would actually start Greg Newsome over Buster because of his speed. Myles Garrett, obviously one of the better pass rushers in the game. Then you have Sheldon Richardson and Malik McDowell. So, but the Browns have some good pieces. They're just overshadowed by, not overshadowed. They just don't have enough, right? Like Demario Davis is mid at best. Malik McDowell is okay. Clowney and Garrett are good edge rushers, or even rush DTs, because you can put your ends at DT. But Malcolm Smith is a serviceable linebacker. But the Browns, I'm putting in the C tier, because their free safety is just really terrible. Like Jordan Whitehead being their best free safety is just, you can't be starting. You can't be starting Grant Delpit. I just realized, because I'm just sitting here playing with this, that the overall actually fluctuates with the changing of the cards in the lineup. So that's actually kind of interesting. I never knew that. Cardinals. Let's look at the division rival Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals. Well, they have a good, solid team. They have a solid team, not gonna lie. I'm turning my voice down a little bit, guys, because my lady just decided to go to bed now, which makes sense. It's like 11 o'clock at night, so. But offensive line, really, really good. DJ Humphries, Rodney Hudson. These guys are a little outdated, but Faneca, Davis, Dan Dierdorf, not bad. Obviously, Zach Ertz, 95 speed, Cardinals team, nice, especially for a tight end. Larry Fitz, one of the best receivers in this game. 98 overall, 6'3", 218 pounds, 99 speed, great route running. D-Hop definitely needs a card. He definitely is somebody that needs an upgrade. Same with him. Amon Rashad is still pretty good, but D-Hop needs an upgrade really bad. Chris Johnson, I never knew he played for the Cardinals. Wow. When did he play for Arizona? Okay, I have to see this now. When did he play? So he played for the Jets, Titans, and Cardinals. So he played for the Titans from 2008 to 2013, the Jets in 2014, and then the Cardinals from 2015 to 20. Wow, I honestly never knew that. I never knew he played for the Cardinals. So that actually is actually pretty interesting. But Chris Johnson, definitely, he's one of the better running backs in the game. Obviously, Kenyon Drake is pretty good too, and Adrian Peterson. So they have 3 solid running backs. Carson Palmer and Kyler Murray definitely are 2 of the better quarterbacks in the game. You probably, if and it also enters some play style, because if you like passing from the pocket and throwing dots, just standing still, obviously Carson Palmer is your guy. Obviously, but if you want to throw on the run, Kyler Murray is your guy. So it really just depends on what you like to do. So that's why I like about that for that. Defensively, though, Larry Wilson, pretty good, 99 speed on a Cardinals theme team. Devondre Campbell's pretty great, a 96 speed on this theme team, and 6'4". That's pretty sweet. Jordan Hicks, could be better. Seth Joyner, one of the worst cards in existence. So that does suck for him. But Night Train Lane's one of the better cards. Pat Pete is still pretty good. Even now, Antrel Roll is, Antrel Roll, or whatever, however. Sure, Roll is pretty good too. Defensively, the tackles, yeah, Corey Peters, meh. But Hassan Reddick, 99 finesse move on this card. Not bad. JJ Watt, obviously, still pretty good as well. 99 block shed. The secondary for the Cardinals is one of the best in the entire game, and they're not using Jordan Whitehead as a free safety option. Yay! So, but for the Cardinals, I'm putting them in the high A's. I definitely think once they get once they get like one more piece to their own line, or even a fantastic DeAndre Hopkins card, once they get one of those, they can be in serious conversations for S tier. I really do think so. The Tampa Bay Succaneers. Oh boy, I'm just kidding. Buccaneers. That is not the right one. There it is. So the Buccaneers theme team. So, quite honestly, this is also probably one of the most complete theme teams in the entire game, because I think they actually have. They're the only team that has a high-end punter and kicker. But offensive line, one of the better ones in the game. Obviously, they do need a left tackle upgrade, but he's still pretty solid. Gronk is great. LeGarrette Blount is really, really good for Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette's really good. Deshaun Jackson, Antonio Brown, Keyshawn Johnson. Antonio Brown definitely does need a new card. He's a little outdated. But even then, you could just throw Mike Evans in there instead of Antonio Brown, which I actually think I would actually do. I'm probably just going to start doing that right now for cards that I would rather start. Chris Godwin, I would actually put here as well. Leonard Fournette, I would start. Obviously, Tom Brady, Mike Allstott, best fullback in the entire game. Keyshawn Johnson is still pretty good. So, but the Buccaneers have a really good theme team offensively. There really isn't any holes in their offense. Defensively, though, they got some good linebackers. Antoine Winfield. Now, he actually does play for the Bucs. So does Jordan Whitehead, which is right here. Leonard Floyd, obviously, I would start Shaquille Barrett because he actually is a Buccaneer. JPP's LTD is pretty solid. Rondé Barber, Kaqib Talib, Philip Buchanan, all 90+ speed corners. I probably would actually start Darrelle Revis because of his speed. I would actually probably start Darrelle Revis over Philip Buchanan. Maybe even Richard Sherman, honestly, over him, because Richard Sherman, because of his size. So I actually probably would actually play Richard Sherman over Darrelle Revis. Sue, obviously, really good. Vita Vea, Warren Sapp, 2 run-stopping defensive tackles. William Goldson is also a good edge rusher. Special teams, they got Nick Folk and Brian Anger. Both are really good kicker and punter. So the Bucs theme team, in my opinion, is an S tier as well. I think they're one of the top 5 theme teams in the whole game. Personally, I don't think there's anything that I can say about the Bucs theme team that hasn't been said already. They're really, really good. Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers have actually changed quite a bit. They actually have a couple of brand new pieces that they have been lacking since the last theme team update. So we look at the Pittsburgh Steelers theme team. Obviously, offensive line does need to be improved. Alan Fenneca is great, but Dan Moore, Trey Turner, Delvin Beckham, these guys are a little outdated now. Pat Freiermuth goes on every theme team camp, but he is a Pittsburgh Steeler. But he's still really good. Obviously, you got guys like Lynn Swann, Deontay Johnson, Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool is one of the best best receivers in the game. Being 6'4", 99 speed, physical wide receiver. I wish the physical wide receivers were better. Not gonna lie. But for, quarterback, again, just like with the Cardinals, it really just depends on who you want. Me personally, I would still start Michael Vick because of the speed. 98 speed on a quarterback is poggers. And 99 speed on a Pittsburgh Steelers team. But, Vick is incredibly good. LeGarrette Blount, Michael Vick, great combo at running back. Obviously, Michael Vick being receiving back does make him a lot more valuable. Franco's really great fullback as well. Defensively, though, the Steelers have some pieces. They have a little bit of new, they got their teams, they got their cornerbacks now. That was the biggest problem with the Steelers team that from the last time was the cornerback situation. The cornerbacks for the Steelers team were terrible. Mike Hilton, just play him at slot corner and he's fine. Ahkello Witherspoon, as I mentioned before with the Seahawks team, Ahkello Witherspoon plays a lot better than even I anticipated. I actually do think he's really good. I play him at third corner, even though he's not better than DJ Reed. And then Michael Vick, I've heard people say that this Michael Vick corner actually plays very glitchy, which, good on you guys. So that would be fantastic. That's actually fantastic to hear. A lot of run-stopping big guys on the defensive front. Stephon Tuitt, me, Joe Green. Then you can have TJ Watt and Melvin Ingram rushing off the edge. Troy Polamalu is really, really good. Their defense has definitely come a long way. Obviously, they still have linebacker work to do, but, in terms of them, I'm putting them in the A tier now. I'm putting them in the Steelers in the A tier. They have come a long way from their cornerback controversy since, sure, why not controversy? They've come a long way since having, Joe Hayden being their best cornerback in December, right? The team has definitely improved, and also Mika Fitzpatrick is still pretty good. 98 speed free safety, right? Mika Fitzpatrick is still pretty good. Green Bay Packers. Let's look at the pack. Green Bay lineup builder. Now the Packers. Let's look at them. Well, let's start off with always their offensive line. Yowza. Obviously, David Bakhtiari has not received a card all year, which blows my mind, actually, that he hasn't gotten a card this year. I find that completely confusing. But Bakhtiari, their offensive line is so outdated. Their best card is Justin McRae and a Billy Turner. Yikes. Keith Jackson is not bad. Jared Cook, I probably would actually start Jared Cook over Keith Jackson because of the speed. Aaron Rodgers, obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the entire game. I would actually say he is the best, in my personal opinion, because of his stats, and also he basically can get any ability you want now with Aaron Rodgers. Devontae Adams, Andre Rison definitely is not a serviceable receiver anymore. They need a second guy, which is why it makes sense that Juju, who is a Packers team YouTuber I like to watch, makes sense why he's starting Jared Cook at receiver 3, because Andre Rison is... Randall Cobb is still pretty great, though. Amon Green, one of the better backs in the game. Not bad, but he's good. A.J. Dillon definitely does need an upgrade, though. He definitely does need to get a new card soon. But the Packers defense, they are pretty good. A.J. Hawk, not bad, 93 speed. Whitney Merciless, mid. But he probably wouldn't even see the field. I definitely would start Preston Smith over him because of the speed and the block shed and the finesse move. Whitney Merciless is the similar stats, but obviously Preston has higher speed. Clay Matthews is fantastic. Reggie White is good. Kenny Clark. Obviously, Dominican Sue, he's here because he's on all theme teams. Casey Hayward, though, I've heard a lot of people say this card is good, and I don't know. Jair Alexander definitely does need an upgrade. Hopefully he gets one soon. Rasul Douglas, didn't even know he was a Packer until I actually watched one of his videos, until I watched one of my guys' videos. But Rasul Douglas, he's good. Obviously, they need a Charles Woodson upgrade here soon. And then special teams, obviously, Max Crosby and Corey, whatever the fuck his name is. Definitely need a new kicker, need new special teams. But the Packers are definitely going to be put in the B tier. Lower B tier, in my opinion. Offensive line is straight doo-doo. Then they need a third receiver, horribly. You can make an argument that Packers should be down in the C tier, and I wouldn't even blame you. So I'm actually going to do that because, defensively, though, this team is pretty great. This team is pretty solid. Kenny Clark is pretty good. But after that, Jesus, unicycling Christ. Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles are the next one. Let's look at the Philadelphia Eagles. View in lineup builder. So the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously they got Michael Vick recently, but they also got, a great update with Jason Kelce as their offensive lineman. They got some solid offensive linemen. Obviously, Jason Kelce is a great anchor, being a gold 99 center. Just, Landon Dickerson does need a new card. Even though he just got one, he needs another. Or the Eagles just need a left guard in general. Mike Ditka is also pretty good for a tight end. Receivers, though, Quintez Watkins, not bad. Golden Tate, he is actually not that bad. I actually like this Golden Tate card. Deshaun Jackson is just insane. Like, Deshaun Jackson is a monster. Michael Vick is really great. Jalen Hurts is really great. Like, Garrett Blount, William Perry. Like, the offense for the Eagles is really, really good. Tight ends, they're all set. They just need some offensive linemen. Like one or two offensive linemen to be one of the best teams in the game. Offensively, have one of the best offenses. Defensively, though, especially their safeties. Dawkins is still pretty good. Brian Dawkins is still pretty good. Shenard Avery, Mike Ditka, Seth Joyner. Malcolm Jenkins, though, is... Malcolm Jenkins is yikes. Darius Slay actually is not that bad still. 98 speed on an Eagles team with the cams and all that. Mike Vick, as I've alluded to. Rasul Douglas. Steven Nelson still is okay. Jerron Hargrave, Fletcher Cox is another card that, he's okay. But Eagles team, I'm going to put them in B tier. The Eagles definitely need a few more pieces. Offensive line, they definitely need it, especially on the left tackle. They still have Jason Peters as their starting left tackle. And then, obviously, for safety, I get it. You could put Cam Chancellor here, but I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this again, or if I haven't said it already, I'm going to say it now. I'm ranking this based on pure theme teams, not in terms of having, like, all the added cards like Junior Seau, Cam Chancellor, all yada, yada, yada. So I'm not going to have Cam Chancellor here and talk about him and this spot because, quite honestly, he was never an Eagle. He only played for us. So, Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, boy. Jacksonville. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm scared. Oh, my goodness. This is awful. This is just straight up awful. This card, I mean, you may as well just delete this. You may as well just get rid of this Tony Baselli if you're going to have this. So, but yeah, Tony Baselli, obviously, they're starting, he's okay. Mercedes Lewis, which is okay. Nick Foles is alright. Maybe we get a Trevor Lawrence card soon. Receivers, though, not bad. Not bad receivers, especially Colin Johnson. He played for the Jaguars. Torrey Holt is still serviceable, and then obviously Jimmy Smith is really, really good. Fred Taylor is also a good running back. 98 speed on the Jaguars theme team. So, offensive line is, you're still starting a gold right guard. Holy fuck. You're still starting a gold right guard. Jesus Christ. Defensively, though. Obviously, start Andrew Wingard. 98 speed, not bad. Reggie Nelson still pretty good. Malcolm Smith, Quincy Williams, 96 hit power on the 91 overall. That's still pretty solid. Griffin, Glenn, and Ramsey. The Jaguars, they actually have something going here. The Jaguars actually have not a bad squad. Malik Jackson is good. Tony Bracken's they need a new left end. Shaquille Griffin is still pretty good. 98 speed cornerback. Jalen Ramsey's 99 speed on this team. Aaron Glenn is pretty good. The Jaguars, they got something, right? They're not I'm going to be honest, they're not as bad as I thought. Obviously, Matthew Wright is still pretty solid. But I'm going to put the Jaguars in B. I'm going to put the Jaguars in B tier. Once EA is generous enough to grace them with a right guard, like a 96 overall right guard, they could actually be an A tier theme team. Nick Foles is not that bad of a quarterback. Obviously, hopefully they get a Trevor Lawrence card soon. That would actually help this team out quite a bit if they had a much better quarterback. But obviously they need an alright. They need really badly. But you could just put Eric Flowers here. Then the team gets a little bit better. So I would actually be completely fine with that. Like, that actually could work like that. Or what you could do is put Roger Saffold here, because I know he does get left tackle secondary position. And then you could put this guy here. But, this team obviously don't have a fullback, so you would just grab one. But, this team actually is not bad. This team is not as bad as I thought. So, yeah, I'll put them in B tier. I do think they're better than the Packers theme team, personally, because the cornerbacks and the receivers, like the Packers don't have a third receiver again. Carolina Panthers. This one has been getting a lot more traction recently because of the Cam Newton card. So let me look at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers. So line, just never mind. Not This is terrible. Right here is pretty bad. Mike Rimmers. I don't know if he can get. Can he get a right tackle secondary position? Yes, he can. So I would obviously put, if you have a left tackle for Mike Remmers, I would put Mike Remmers here, and then obviously dump Cameron Irving down to backup, and then just remove this Greg Little. So I would do that. So that actually does help out the line, make it look a little bit better. In my opinion, if we just edit this card, can we actually? No, we can't. Okay, but either way. Anyways, so Mike Rimmers here, not bad, but backs and receivers, like this team, though, like 98 speed Keyshawn Johnson, 99 speed DJ Moore, 99 speed Robbie Anderson, Cam Newton, Christian McCaffrey, backs, like this team offensively. Like, this team offensively has lots going for it. And then defensively, like, J.C. Horn, obviously. Actually, J.C. Horn on this team is actually still usable. 98 speed is still usable now. Stephon Gilmore, 98 speed is also usable still. James Bradbury, 97 speed. Not as usable as these guys. Rasul Douglas, didn't even know he was a Carolina Panther at one point. Justin Burris, obviously, he's solid. Luke Kuechly, best linebacker in the game. Overall. But the Panthers, I'm not going to lie, I underestimated these guys. These guys actually have a good theme team. Like, this team is really good, and it looks like a lot of fun to use. Not gonna lie. So I'm actually gonna put the Panthers in the A tier. I actually think the Panthers are the most underrated theme team in the entire game, just looking at their depth chart. Denzel Perryman, not even that bad, right? No, he's 89 speed, so he's actually not that good. But yeah, like, this team is actually really, really good. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, man. Cincinnati Bengals. Let's look at the Super Bowl runner-ups and see how good their theme team is. So the Super Bowl runner-ups, with their theme team, here's how they look. So, the center does need an upgrade. Quite, just flat out, straight up, right away. Their center does need an upgrade. There's that. Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. Charlie Joyner, didn't even know he's a Bengal. So Charlie Joyner, 99 speed on this team. Jamar Chase is really, really solid. Then obviously Chad Ochocinco, Joe Burrow, Carson Palmer, Giovanni Bernard. Giovanni Bernard needs an upgrade. But Joe Mixon, I've heard lots of great things about this Joe Mixon card. A lot of people are saying it's the best one of the best backs in the game. So that is sweet. Obviously, their offensive line is much better than, Joe Burrow has in real life by a long shot. But obviously their center does need an upgrade. But still, Quentin Spain, Roger Saffold, Andrew Whitworth, not a bad O-line. John Ross is a usable deep threat if you are budget the option. John Ross and T. Higgins are great budget options if you don't want to pick up Jamar Chase. He's pretty good, solid budget option right there, so I would definitely use him. Defensively, though, let's look at them. Taylor Mays, obviously he plays on any team, but he does get Bengals chem. AJ Hawk, Jermaine Pratt, 95 speed, not bad for a linebacker, not bad. Reggie Nelson, 98 speed, definitely could be better. Mike Hilton, Trey Waynes, cornerbacks are great. Jordan Willis is a solid edge rusher. DJ Reader, I talked about. Well, he was in the Gridiron Forge. He's a solid run stopper, DT, and not much more. Sam Hubbard definitely does need an upgrade, but you could just put Trey Hendrickson over here. You could definitely just put Trey Hendrickson here. I'm pretty sure he does get left end secondary position if I'm not mistaken. Trey Hendrickson, no, he doesn't. In fact, none of these guys get secondary position left end, so that actually is a little bit of a bummer. But you could just put Trey Hendrickson there and just whatever, or have Jack Youngblood if you do have the team captain. But again, we're ranking off pure theme teams. We're not going to take those players into account. But the Bengals are going to be an A tier as well. They have a great. By the way, these tiers are not in order. Like these are not in order whatsoever for the teams within the tiers. But they got some good players. Overall, I actually do like where this team is going. If they get a left end upgrade, they could definitely be in the conversation as the best, one of the best, especially Billy Price. They could be in conversations for one of the best theme teams in the entire game. Detroit Lions is the next one, guys. The Detroit Lions, I've heard they've gotten a little better since the last one. I don't necessarily know for certain, but line still pretty Frank Ragnow's outdated. TJ Hawkinson, though, was a great addition to this team because they actually needed a number one tight end. So 94 speed, not bad. Stafford, he's still pretty usable. He's still a usable quarterback. I don't think he's as great as he was when he first came, even now. But, Night Train Lane, I've also heard some good things about as well. AP is still pretty good. Aroma St. Brown is still pretty great. Golden Tate is good. Calvin Johnson is just Calvin Johnson. So, DeAndre Swift, LeGarry Blunt. Offensively, the Lions got something going. They got some solid pieces. Defensively, though, Quandre and Calvin Johnson are great. Tracy Walker, 98 speed, that's still serviceable even today. Leonard Floyd, obviously, we can just remove this because he does not play for the he does not play for them, so we can put Derek Barnes here. So it does take a little bit of a hit, but Dwight Freeney, never even knew he was a Lion, that's right. Desmond Trufant, he's still pretty solid, 98 speed. Lombardi is still pretty good, right? Where is Lombardi? 99 speed, Night Train Lane, Philip Buchanan, yada, yada, yada. Special teams, I mean, if they even matter, which, they got a good punter and a good kicker, so that's a plus. But the Lions are going to be a B tier. They definitely need some offensive line group help. And then maybe another upgraded receiver, Golden Tate. Yeah, he's a 98 speed, but, Golden Tate, he's okay for the most part. Okay, I'll take that back because I did say he was pretty good earlier. So I'll take that back. The receivers are pretty good. Obviously, they need an upgrade here, but, the Lions are definitely a B tier. Now let's look at the winners of the Super Bowl in the Los Angeles Rams, which, right here, there they are. All right, Los Angeles Rams. So, the Los Angeles Rams, they are just stacked with players, great offensive line. Even this guy right here, even Roger Saffold played for the Rams, so that's why he's on the team. Obviously, this guy right here needs an upgrade, but Cooper Kupp is just incredible. He's an incredible receiver, 99 speed on this team. Torrey Holt, Odell Beckham, Joe Namath, starting quarterback. Eric Dickerson, starting running back. Tyler Higbee is a great tight end. Overall, this team has great weapons all around. Joe Namath is the best quarterback in the entire game. So splice it any way you want. The offense is just one of the best in the entire game. And then defensively, I don't think it's that much to discuss. Young Blood, the LTD, obviously. Young Blood, Elroy Hirsch, Night Train Lane, Akeem Talib, Eric Weddle, Nick Scott, David Long Jr. Jalen Ramsey's not even their top 5 corners guy, not top 3 corners guys. That is how deep their cornerback position is. However, I would probably start Jalen Ramsey over Akeem Talib. I think Jalen Ramsey has the better coverage stats. Yes, he does. So I actually would start Jalen over Akeem, but that is honestly up to you. Alec Ogletree, Ernest Jones, Robert Quinn. This team, Von Miller, now Clay Matthews. This team, in my opinion, this is the best team in the entire game. I'm putting them straight into the S tier. Come on, you stupid. there. I'm putting them straight in the S tier. Like, this is just by far the best, not by far, but one of the best theme teams in the entire game. A little sad that I have to share a division with them. Winky face. But, the Rams, they're definitely up there in the best theme team conversation. Indianapolis Colts are the next one. They are right here. Let's look at the Indianapolis Colts, shall we? So the Indianapolis Colts, yeah, they do need some upgrades over here on the right side of the O-line. Johnny Unitas and Peyton Manning, I don't care that much about releases. In my opinion, Johnny Unitas and Peyton Manning are great quarterbacks. Johnny Unitas was the first card to get all of the abilities that you need, like Escape Artist and Gunslinger and Hot Route Master, or Pass Lead Elite. So I don't really, but like I said, I'm not really much of a release person. If you got a good, it is what it is. You can definitely work with it. But the receivers, though, like T.Y. Hilton is still good, and Reggie Wayne is solid, but like the receivers definitely need some upgrades. Andre Johnson is their best receiver, and that's saying something. So, but the backs and receivers are pretty solid. They're pretty mid. Defensively, though, after Kenny Moore, they really don't have another good cornerback. This team's defensive backs, they're just desperately needing to be upgraded. Anthony McFarland, DeForest Buckner, Dwight Freeney, Darius Leonard, good solid players overall. But I personally, let me just swap this around because that's what I would do for defense. But I personally would rather, I would definitely think that the cornerbacks need to be upgraded. So if the Colts, they're going to be put in the C tier. Defensive backs are still pretty bad overall. So I can't put them any higher than C tier, especially in this game. I can't put them any higher. Los Angeles Chargers, aka the Los Angeles Clippers of the NFL. Where are the Chargers? There they are. All right. So, Los Angeles Chargers. Here we go. So, this team, offensive line, pretty bad. LaDainian Tomlinson, that's the best running back they got. Like, this LaDainian Tomlinson is the best back they got. Derek Watt, didn't even know he was a Charger, so that was a plus. Obviously, Unitas and Herbert. I would rather play Herbert because of his size and frame, being 6'6", and whatnot. Mike Williams, I would actually play this guy in the slot I would still play Mike Williams. Obviously, Charlie Joyner is still pretty solid. I would still play Mike Williams because he is 6'4", 97 speed, 6'4". That's pretty solid. John Mackey is still good. Jared Cook, didn't even know he was a Colt. But defensively here, their defense is actually a little bit better than I gave it credit for. Not gonna lie. Rodney Harrison is still pretty mid, as I allude to. Derwin James, I would actually start this Derwin over Rodney at the safety spot. I wouldn't even actually consider playing Rodney Harrison because even with the Cam Chancellor, I wouldn't even start Rodney Harrison. Chris Harris is a solid cornerback. Jason Verrett is still a 98 speed corner on the Chargers team with the cam boost and all that stuff. Casey Hayward's good. Defensively, they got some solid pieces. So Chargers actually can go up to that's the Bears. They're next. Chargers can go into the B tier. Personally, I think they definitely need a running back and some offensive line. Obviously, offensive line, there's a lot of teams that still need it, but running back mainly is what this team needs for their squad. They definitely need a running back. Hopefully they get a LaDainian Tomlinson upgrade soon. Anyways, moving on. Let's look at Chicago. Let's look at them Bears. Let's look at the Bears. So the Bears, how are the Bears? Well, the Bears actually have an okay theme team, right? The Bears have one of the better a solid O-line. Obviously, they need a left guard and whatnot. But you could probably put Bobby Massey. Does he get left guard secondary position? If he does, then you can just throw Bobby Massey over there, right? Bobby Massey. No, he doesn't. But Larry Broom does. Okay, but Larry Broom does. So you could just put a left guard. Come on. Load back up, you stupid. So you could put Larry Broom here and put Bobby Massey here. There. Your offense gets a little bit better. Obviously, Mike Ditka is really great. Jimmy Graham definitely does need a new card soon. So there is that. Hester, Robinson, and Marshall. Robinson in particular is just absolutely not even usable anymore. I would probably play a Jakeem Grant Sr. over him because of his he's just significantly faster. Brandon Marshall does need a new card soon. Hopefully he will get one. Cordell Patterson, Walter Payton, Nick Foles is not that bad of a quarterback. I actually do think his card is pretty good. William Perry obviously is a great fullback. Now for that Bears D though, the Bears defense: Quan Smith, Mike Ditka, Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack definitely does need a new card soon. Hopefully he does get one. We can cut this guy. Eddie Jackson. I mean, yeah, I would start him honestly. And Adrian Amos does need a new card. Then we go cornerbacks. They get that third corner that they've been waiting for with Desmond Trufant. But they also have Jalen Johnson, and they also have that's Jalen Johnson, Buster Skrine. But I actually like Desmond Trufant because he's 6 foot tall. This guy here, Buster, is 5'9", so I actually probably I would start Jalen over him because of his size. Keem Hicks, a great run-stopping interior lineman. Roquan Smith, 97 speed linebacker on the Chicago Bears theme team. Like the Bears theme team looking like is looking really good. The Bears team defense looks really good. Obviously, Antrell Roll is just a great corner. But the Bears, I'm putting in the B tier as well. There's a lot of B tier theme teams, but I think if they can get some wide receivers, like a new wide receiver, they could jump up to A tier pretty quickly, honestly. Okay, I just want to make sure that we're not missing any teams. So next we'll go on to the Saints. So let's find the New Orleans Saints. So New Orleans, how are their theme teams looking? Well, the Saints already right away, if you guys didn't notice it, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. They still need some upgrades on the O-line with Adorius and Ryan Ramcheeks. But they just need a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback to throw the ball that is very good. Obviously they have great receivers though. That's what's really funny. Michael Thomas is 97 speed, which does suck, but Joe Horn is really good. Brandon Cooks is still pretty solid. Ricky Williams is really good. Alvin Kamara, Adrian Peterson. But, the Saints offense definitely does need a little bit of additions. And then defensively, this team is still pretty lackluster in a lot of places. P.J. Williams, Aaron Glenn, and Marshawn Lattimore are solid quarterbacks. I think P.J. Williams, I don't know much about this P.J. Williams, but I've heard a lot of good things about Marshawn Lattimore. And in the case of Aaron Glenn, just play him at the slot corner, and it's done. You're basically good with that. But, Desmond Trufant is also a good substitute if you don't want to use P.J. Williams. Marcus Davenport is really, really good for a card. Trey Hendrickson, good, solid pass rushers all the way around. Cam Jordan is really, really solid. Like, the Saints pass rush is pretty, their defensive line is pretty deep. Their linebackers are solid. Obviously, you will start AJ Klein because of the fact that he's an actual Saint over Leonard Floyd. I don't give a crap about the extra chems. Quan Alexander, not that bad, not that good. I mean, Von Bell, 98 speed, not bad. Obviously, Malcolm Jenkins, like I said, does need a new card. Then you got Thomas Morstead and Martin Anderson. But the Saints are going to definitely be a C-tier theme team because of the fact that they just are missing the most important. They're just missing a great piece at the most important position in the entire game, and that's quarterback. And also they need some offensive line help, but mainly quarterback. They need a new quarterback. And until for me, if you don't have a good quarterback, you can't be any higher than the B tier. I don't care how good the weapons around you are and how good your offensive line is. If you don't have a quarterback, you can't be good. You cannot be good. It's literally how the real life NFL is, just how I rank theme teams. The Broncos are next. So the Denver Broncos. So the Broncos, obviously, they actually have a solid O-line. Billy Turner definitely could be put to left tackle. But the Broncos wide receivers, though, I would definitely start Tim Patrick over Emmanuel Sanders to get more speed. But Brandon Marshall, Jerry Jeudy, and Tim Patrick. I mean, Brandon Marshall's actually still pretty solid. On with the 2-strat item cards, 97 speed at 6'5". I still think even at 96 speed, 6'5", I still think he's still usable. But he's pretty great. Tim Tebow, Peyton Manning, a good quarterback duo. You can really decide what you want to use between the two of them. I personally would start Peyton Manning because of the fact that he is a field general. You know, Vernon Davis, probably still the best tight end in the entire game, if not one of the best, actually. You know, Mark Andrews is probably still better. But offensive line, you know, for the Broncos, really, really good. Vernon Davis is great. Noah Fant just got a new card, so he's obviously going to be usable. The Broncos, no fly zone defense. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Justin Simmons, John Lynch, Kareem. Like, this team, the Broncos still have one of the best theme teams in the entire game. They just don't have defensive tackles. Like, Shamar Stephen and Mike Purcell are still so. But this team's defense, you know, their secondary, you know, no fly zone and shit like that. So I'm putting the Broncos in S tier. I do think the Broncos have some of the best players. Obviously, their linebackers aren't the best, so you probably could knock them down to high A. And in fact, I'm actually going to do that because of their linebackers. But their no-fly zone, their defense, you know, with the no-fly zone, you know, like I said, Brian Dawkins is using, you got a whole bunch of good safeties. You got John Lynch, team captain here, which you don't have to use because obviously they have a Bo Nose card for John Lynch. So, but yeah, this team is absolutely incredible. I love the Broncos team. I love how it looks overall. So next, let's move on to the Atlanta Falcons. There they are. So the Falcons. So one of the biggest things that they had missing was the quarterback position, and they got it. They got two great quarterbacks now with Matt Ryan and Michael Vick. Obviously, you would start Michael Vick because he's just that good. But this team has come a long way. Offensive line, they still need some additions, like Jalen Mayfield, Justin McCray. Definitely do need some upgrades. But Joe Horn, Julio Jones finally gets his upgrade he was waiting on for the entire year. Calvin Ridley, you know, 99 speed on this team, still pretty great. Deep threat for Joe Horn. And then Julio Jones, a big physical receiver. But you also have guys like Deion Sanders and Devin Hester. So there's really no wrong. Cordero Patterson and Eric Dickerson, great halfbacks. Defensively, though, the Falcons' defense, it's okay. It's okay. Like, actually, it's better than okay. But still, Jordan Whitehead, I mean, like, the thing is, you would have to play this Jordan Whitehead because this Deron Harmon is not playable anymore. Like, he just isn't usable. Dante Fowler Jr. is okay for outside rusher. I would probably not use him. But Jonathan Dolar, Dwight Freeney, Keanu Neal is okay. 97 speed, that's all right. Devondre Campbell, as I alluded to, you know, 6'4", 96 speed. Not bad. Not a bad card whatsoever. AJ Hawk is still pretty good. Deion Jones, I still think he's pretty solid. 93 speed on this team with 91 zone coverage. Doesn't have the best of block shed, so he's not going to be the best in the run game. But the Falcons team I'm putting up in the A tier. The Falcons have lots going for them that are really, really good. Obviously, having Morton Anderson does help with their special teams, but you know, the team has come a long way. They definitely did get their quarterback upgrade that they were missing in Matt Ryan, so I'm actually really happy the Falcons are a good theme team. Next, we move on to the Texans. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So the Texans, I just don't think are that great. First of all, they have a solid O-line. But their quarterback is a 95, and it's the worst archetype it could be too, which is a scrambler. And that doesn't help when it comes to talking about certain cards or ranking about certain, teams. So it does unfortunately suck that this team does not have a good quarterback. But Amon Green is still a serviceable running back. But moving on to the defense, I just put that in real quick. Defensively, I mean, corners are okay. You got a few 99 speed corners. Obviously, Aaron Glenn, as I talked about, playing in the slot. Ed Reed is still good. Ty Matthew is still pretty good. You probably could play Ed Reed where Jordan Whitehead is and just not even worry about it. But even then, Justin Reed is still a solid replacement for Jordan Whitehead. So you could definitely do that. Vince Wilfork is a great defensive tackle. J.J. Watt. Kevin Pierre-Louis, but the quarterback, as I alluded to, it just really does not make the team. Like, you cannot be any higher than C or B if you don't have a good quarterback. So the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders theme team, they have gotten a little bit more upgrades. They're not as more. They don't have as many upgrades as they would have in the earlier part of the years, but they're still pretty good. So Carson Palmer, they got their quarterback upgrade, which is helpful. It's very helpful to them. Cliff Branch, 99 speed slot receiver. Deshaun Jackson, Jerry Rice, 3 great receivers. Eric Dickerson, again, didn't even know he was a Raider. But you got a 1-2 punch at running back. Got great receivers, great tight end, solid O-line. The Raiders have some good offense. Defensively, though, a little bit. Like, Ronnie Lott's, okay, he's actually pretty good. I might have to take this back for another thing I said. Warren Sapp is a run-stopping DT, so obviously he's going to be incredibly valuable. Malik Collins, Denico Audrey, Max Crosby, Cordero Patterson, Philip Buchanan, Desmond Trufant, Ted Hendricks is still one of the best safeties in the entire game. So I'll take that back. The Raiders are actually an A tier. I'll take that back. Obviously their linebackers are pretty but I didn't even know. Who the fuck did Malcolm Smith not play for? Like, good lord. It seems like every other, 2 or 3 theme teams I pick, he's, in their rotation. Who the fuck did Malcolm Smith not play for? Holy hell. Anyways. But the team, it definitely does have some good things about it. Obviously, their linebackers need to be better. But I do think this team is an A-tier theme team, and I actually would say they are a top 10 theme team in the entire game. Next, the Washington Commanders, which are right here. Washington Commanders. Again, as I alluded to with the Saints, and I alluded to with the... I cannot remember who I just said. They don't have a quarterback. Kirk Cousins is not that guy, both in this game and in real life. Defensively, though, they're also still not that bad. They're not that bad on defense, though. Kevin Houston is pretty solid. Sean Springs, good corner. Bobby McCain is a solid corner in the slot. Deion Sanders is probably the best corner in the entire game. Sean Taylor is one of the best safeties in the entire game. But, again, because they don't have a good quarterback, they cannot be any higher than B. So I'm putting the Washington football team in the B tier. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. That's how I do my rankings. If you don't have a great quarterback, you can't be any higher than B. San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of teams that are getting good quarterbacks. Now, this is being recorded before the Wild Card Wednesday drops tomorrow or whenever it does come out, because they did announce that there was going to be a Trey Lance coming. So this is being recorded before that Trey Lance comes out. So take this with a pinch of salt. Yeah, I don't know if Trey Lance helps out a lot. But anyways, offensive line, incredibly good. Leonard Davis, Larry Allen, Trent Brown, probably the best respective players at their positions. Vernon Davis is really, really good. Deebo Samuel is a fantastic receiver. Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice, all 3 are really good cards. Roger Craig, Joe Montana is a really good card. Obviously, they get Trey Lance tomorrow, as I said. Kyle Juszczyk. The offense for the Niners is incredibly good. Defensively, it gets a little bit better. Obviously, they don't have a second middle linebacker, not by the long shot. But having, Fred Warner, Marcel Harris, Elvis Dumerville, Jaquiski Tart is still mid. Obviously, you don't want to play Jaquiski Tart. But you do have guys like Taylor Mays. You do have Ronnie Lott as well. Taylor Mays. Here's Taylor Mays. Deion Sherman, DJ Reed, Akello, Verrett. Some solid cornerback options to choose from here. DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead, Jordan Willis, Nick Bosa. The Niners, in my personal opinion, and they also have some good special teams. The Niners are an S tier. They're not better than the Patriots or the Seahawks. Hell, I would even say they're the worst S tier team out of all of these guys if we're really going to put it in order. But the Niners are definitely an S tier theme team. I do think that they are one of the best theme teams in the entire game, and it will continue to be that way because the Niners just historically have had some great players play for their franchise. Next, we have the New York Giants, which are right here. So, how about the Giants? How many do we have left? We have 5 left after this. 4 left after this. So the Giants, not bad for the offensive linemen to start. Then we got, the offensive weapons. Odell Beckham, Brandon Marshall, Colin Johnson are really, really great. Colin Johnson, I think he has... What are his ability buckets again? I think it was route runner, deep threat, and slot. So you wouldn't even need to play Golden Tate to get the slot apprentice. Even then, you probably could play John Ross. in here over Brandon Marshall. So you have 399 speed receivers. Larry Zonka, Tiki Barber, Phil Simms. Great offense. Defensively, again, also really great. Janoris Jenkins, a 97 speed corner, which is their worst. You definitely wouldn't want to play him. If you really care about the speed, you could play Eli Apple, but that's about it. For the cornerbacks that I would change, Everson Walls is still pretty good on this team. Antrell Roll is still pretty sweet. Jabril Peppers does need an upgrade, but this team actually has some good pieces to it. Andrew Adams is also really good on this team, so I actually will put the Giants in the A tier. Obviously, their defensive backs need like one or two more defensive backs. Mainly at safety and mainly at corner. Actually, those are the defensive backs. But strong safety and cornerback definitely do need a bit of an adjustment. Their offense is perfect. Honestly, I wouldn't touch a thing about their offense. So there is that. Now let's move on to Miami and the Dolphins. So the Miami Dolphins, with this team, we're almost there, guys. I promise. So offensively, mid-offensive line, solid weapons, though. Devontae Parker, not that bad. 97 speed on this team. Same with Brandon Marshall. I think Devontae Parker, 6'3", so yeah. But if you really care about the speed, you could definitely throw in Will Fuller. He's 98 speed on this team. Jalen Waddle, just incredibly good. One of the best receivers in the game. Kenyon Drake and Wiki Williams and Darvin Thomas are a great running back trio. Dan Marino is still one of the best quarterbacks in the whole game, especially as a pure pocket passer. Dan Marino is still one of the best cards in the whole game in terms of his pocket power, in terms of his pocket presence. Mike Gesicki, 95 speed tight end. The Dolphins have some good stuff here for their team. Move on to the defense, Junior Seau, Jerome Baker, Jalen Phillips. He's still he's mid now. He's not that great. But Byron Jones and Bobby McCain are great. Jason McCourty is completely outdated now. I would definitely recommend you find a better corner than that. Probably a filler at this cornerback spot, to be honest. But the Dolphins, they definitely are missing, even free safety. Defensive backs, they're still pretty bad in. So I'm going to put the Dolphins in the C tier. There they are. Defensive backs, they're not that great. Eric Rowe, Jason McCourty are pretty good, but, and pretty bad. I mean, Micah, is it Mika or Micah? I have no idea. I'm not even going to worry about it. Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills are still pretty bad, right? The Bills are still a bad theme team overall. And to be completely honest, I don't think it's fair that the Bills are this bad. Offensively, though, they're great, right? 98, Stephon Diggs. They got great offense. Stephon Diggs is really good. Ahmad Rashad is really good. Percy Harvin is really good. Even this Gabriel Davis for a budget card, 98 speed on the Bills team, not bad. Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks, one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the whole game. I love this Josh Allen. I used him. Funny enough, I used him for a day, and then I ended up selling him off because we literally got Russell Wilson the very fucking next day. So that was hilarious. Thurman Thomas is one of the best receiving backs in the game. Offensive line is pretty solid. Dawson Knox is a good tight end. 95 speed tight end is pretty sweet. But defensively, oh dear. Defensively is where this team completely craters, and it's pathetic. Ronald Darby is a bad corner. 97 speed is not that good. Tre'Davious White is terrible. 98 speed for this card. Yuck. Just yuck. This Josh Norman I would probably use over that Tre'Davious White. Jordan Poyer is not usable anymore. The Bills' corners are just awful. Micah Hyde can service some of the issues, but Jordan Whitehead, but the safeties, the corners are just all bad. This team desperately needs some secondary help. So I'm putting the Bills in the C tier. This team desperately needs some defensive backs. Desperately. Tomorrow, yesterday is when they needed some DBs. Good Lord, this team is so bad. The Tennessee Titans, we're on the home stretch. We got the last two. So the Tennessee Titans theme team, gentlemen. Let's look at that real quick. So, offensively, line is okay. It's pretty good, actually. You got Jack Conklin, who needs an upgrade. Frank Wycheck, he's actually a solid blocking tight end who actually has some solid route running. Julio Jones, Charlie Joyner, Andre Johnson make up some of the biggest receivers in the entire game. I think, Julio is 6'3", Andre 6'3", Charlie Joyner is 5'11". But you also have Randy Moss as well, who will be getting an UL card at some point. He's going to be 6'4". So the Titans are in contention for the biggest receivers in the entire game. Obviously, you would probably start Curry Blasingame here at fullback, because why not? Derrick Henry, I would probably start Vince Young if you really want to use his running back card. But if you don't, obviously you could play his quarterback. Have Chris Johnson play your running back. This Chris Johnson card, 99 speed, powered up on this team, like insane. This team is a very good team. Obviously, you could also put Bruce Matthews at right tackle, because he does get every secondary. He's one of the few offensive linemen that gets every offensive line team as every offensive line secondary position. So there is that. Now the cornerbacks for the Titans team is a head scratcher, because you have Jordan Whitehead here for the safety, but then they also have Logan Ryan, but then they also have Logan Ryan at cornerback for his LTD. So I would personally not even worry about that. I would just play Janoris Jenkins, Buster Crane, and Christian Fulton as my corners. If I was on the Titans team, I would just play it that way. So other than that, Jack Tatum, 98 speed. Kevin Houston is also 98 speed. Logan Ryan's pretty good. Linebackers are really great. I think Jaylen Brown is like 96 speed, which is pretty good. Jayon Brown. I think I said Jayon, not Jalen. I don't know. Javon Curse is really good. And then special teams, if you really care. So I'm putting the Titans in the B tier. They need a corner. They need a cornerback to be considered an A tier theme team, in my personal opinion. And also, I think if they could once they get a Randy Moss upgrade, this team will be just absolutely stacked for a theme team. But I like the Titans. And then finally, gentlemen, the very last theme team. I appreciate if you guys did stick around for this entire video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, guys, and comment I'm still here, because I want to know who got this far in the video, man, because this is a long ass video. I really am sorry that this took so long, but it is what it is. And I do appreciate all those who stuck around for this long, because I know for a fact I probably wouldn't have. But offensive line, really, really good. Eric Tomlinson being their top tight end does raise some concerns. Obviously, you need a better tight end. Receivers are a little outdated. Keyshawn Johnson is still good. Percy Harvin is good, but Brandon Marshall, as I said, 97 speed. But if you value the tall guys, then these are actually still pretty good. Receivers, Chris Johnson, 99 speed on a running back, does still do his job. You have the two best quarterbacks in the game, and Joe Namath and Michael Vick. So it really just depends on who you want. I personally would start Joe Namath because of his. He still has the similar mobility, but he also has great stats, and he's a better archetype. So I would actually start Joe Namath. But if you really love Michael Vick, go ahead and use Michael Vick. Then we move to the defense. Linebackers are really great. Defensive backs, Ed Reed, Ronnie Lott make up some of the best safeties in the game. Aaron Glenn, Darrell Reeves, Ty Law, Michael Vick, corner. Like, this team is one of the more complete teams in the game. And then special teams, like, they had Nick Folk as a kicker, which I didn't even know Nick Folk was a Jet at one point. So, but overall, the Jets, I think, are an S tier. I still think they're an S tier theme team. There really isn't anything in the Jets theme team lineup that is a hole, in my personal opinion. Like, you could definitely still use Brandon Marshall. Maybe the tight end, my apologies. They definitely need a tight end. Don't get me wrong. But, I think, the offensive line, the, quarterback, especially the quarterback duo, makes up for it. So anyways, guys, here is my final rankings for the theme teams, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have any changes you would make? Let me know, guys. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. And again, just comment I'm still here, or thanks for the video, guys. If you guys did stick around. But I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.